me talk about my background. So I've been to Europe. I spent like 4 years in Europe just traveling, actively listening, 3 months. You don't care about if you understand or not. Just listen, 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 listen. I'm just interested, that's it. I can do it on my way home. I can do it just chilling, lying, but I don't like, of course, read a book and everything, but I always learn. No matter what, I always learn. What is unconscious brain? Unconscious brain is you just know how to do it. You don't think about it. I want to learn from the alphabet. I'm telling you, a kid learns the alphabet when he turns 7. Listen to podcasts, listen to music, listen to the cartoons, just actively listening. Okay, let me think first. Article, this. Do you do that? You must know, like, some of the students might be pre-intermediate here, intermediate, like students from different levels. But I think even though you're a beginner, I will exclusively speak English, so it'll be like a listening experience for you, kind of. Now, let's talk about like who I am, you know? Let me tell you guys a little bit about what I do, who I am. I currently teach General English at Mr.Avazbek branch of Cambridge. Well, let me talk about my background. So I've been to Europe. I spent like 4 years in Europe just traveling and studying and working and everything else. And since I started learning English, it's been like almost 10 years. So yeah, when I first started my what's your name word, like the not the alphabet, but the what's your name kind of stuff, it's been almost 10 years. Yeah, this September. And what I learned so far in the last 10 years, there were so many things that I made mistakes a lot when I was learning English because there was no one to tell me, to correct me and everything else. So I just had to do everything that I could. But now here, you got a great opportunity to, I should say, get some insights from me. What are the do's and don'ts when learning English or when learning any language? Let me talk about my school years. When I was in high school, I never thought that I would speak another language other than Uzbek. Like I thought that, okay, I was not born to speak another language. That's what I thought. That's the, I should say, mentality I had. I'm coming from like a small town, originally from Namangan, and when I was studying in the gymnasium, I was really good at math and physics. And I was not good in Russian, I was not good in English, and I thought like, oh, I think some people are just born with a talent to learn a language. That was the perception I had back in 2006 and 7. And then I never started even like learning English. And we had teachers, I had friends who were really advancing in English, but for me it was like, I couldn't even speak like normal words. Oh my gosh, English is not for me. And even when it came to Russian, it was the same scenario. No. Language learning is not for me. Okay, fast forward. What happened? I got into a university, studied a degree, and I realized that I chose something I didn't like. I was studying railway engineering, and I soon realized that, oh my gosh, like I cannot do it forever. So I need to connect to the world. Because I actually got into Tashkent Institute of Railway Engineering back in 2010. This is when for the first 2 years, I lost myself. Like, okay, I am at the university, so okay, I'll finish this university, I'll get a job, and it'll be fine. Like, I spent this 2 years doing nothing, like just wasted it, you know? And then I realized that, no, I don't want this job. Like, I don't want to work as a railway engineer. It's just not for me. I mean, I really want to connect to the world. I want to travel. I want to like go abroad and study. And then one thing I didn't have back then, I didn't speak a language. So then I started learning, just everything came up suddenly. I had the urge to speak Russian. Okay, now I want to learn Russian. I didn't care about how I'm going to learn it. I just started learning it. I got this motivation like from inside. But when I was in high school, my dad like even pushed me, like he gave me a lot of books I never read. But that motivation came out of nowhere. I don't know, from the sky, from inside. I started learning Russian. I didn't care about anything else. I read books, I spoke to my teachers who spoke Russian. and so on and so forth. And I got this confidence that, all right, so after all, I was wrong. I thought that I would never be able to learn a language, but now I can speak Russian fluently. All right, how about I give it a shot to try English now? So in 2012, I started learning English with this motivation again. It also came from inside, out of nowhere. I really wanted to travel. I really wanted to study abroad. And I asked a couple of my friends who got IELTS 7, and I asked them, hey, can I do it or is it too late? I'm just like 20 years old, you know, like, I think it's too late, right? And he said, he gave me that motivation. I'm really appreciative of this guy who is now in the United States. I think he's working in Google. And he told me, no, you know what? Language learning is for everyone. You don't have to have a talent or nothing. All you need is a proper way of learning. And he gave me that confidence, and then from September that year, I started learning English. I was ready for everything. Okay, I do everything until I learn English. I'm just ready for everything. And when I started learning English, I spent tremendous amount of time just learning grammar, doing this, doing that. And in between, as you guys know, language learning is not, let's say, smooth. What does that mean, smooth? It doesn't go smoothly. Sometimes you feel like you understand everything. Sometimes you're lost. You don't understand anything. Oh my gosh, like I thought that I'm getting better, but there are some topics you feel like nothing is clear and you lose confidence. Maybe I should stop doing it. Maybe I should quit it. And this is what happened to me too. When I was learning English, I was like, maybe I should stop learning. Like I had these, I should say, split opinions. Oh, I should learn it, I should keep going. I should learn it, I should keep going, or I should quit, I should stop, it's not for me. Like these kind of emotions run through my mind all the time. And I spent 1 year just learning the language. And what are the things I did? Yeah, we're gonna need this a little bit before we get to the presentation. What are the things, I hope it doesn't go backwards. Okay. It was a very traditional learning when I was learning English. Just, what do we do? Like, every teacher tells us to learn the vocabulary, right? And that's what I did. Just English, Uzbek, Uzbek, English, English, Russian, Russian, English. It's the same thing. Did it really help me? Well, kinda. I wouldn't say, oh, this is the best thing. No, I wouldn't say that. It helped me like maybe 5%. 5% is very small, right? If you have like 100% of the time, it just helped me 5% of the time. Okay, learn the grammar and read the grammar rules. That's also what I did. I hated it. You know, I really hated it. Especially, I should say, one of the topics I really hated was probably articles. I hate these two buddies, like A, N, and the. I mean, all three. I was like, how to use them like without thinking about it? I always thought, because if you guys know it or not, there is even a book dedicated to articles. There's like a 500-page book, you know, it exists. There are so many rules how to use the article. And I thought to myself, really? Should that be like, how come it has to be that difficult? Why is that someone who was born in the United States, just by the age of 7 or 10, they can speak English like flawlessly without thinking about it? And why do we have to read a 500-page book just to use the article? A little bit lost my motivation in this one, and I stopped caring about it. Because you understand all the grammar rules perfectly, and all of a sudden there's this one rule, you kind of start feeling like you don't understand that. I just look at my other peers, other friends, they seem to understand that, and me like, oh, I do understand, yeah, you know, like one thing, and like when you mention something for the first time and all that, but do I always have to think about it when I speak? Because when you speak and think at the same time, you just don't sound correct. You make mistakes because you have no time to think. I mean, you speak to someone, a native speaker, they want to just communicate with you. Hey buddy, what's up, how's it going? And you just, okay, let me think first. Article, this. Do you do that? It wouldn't be like a nice idea. So I just kept going to further explore. I really believe that, okay, there will be a moment that I will stop thinking about that. And grammar exercise, right? I don't know, I think I was one of the fewest students who really hated doing grammar exercise. I never, I should say, touched the book Murphy. Everyone recommended that book to me. Okay, you gotta do this, you gotta read this book. And I was like, man, I just don't want it. Even I had like motivation to learn English, really strong motivation, but I didn't have the motivation to read, do exercise in grammar. I was like, I'm not doing it, and I didn't do it. So it was like a big X for me, like I'm not doing it. But what I did was, I did read the grammar rules, always. I just was lazy to do the exercise, like 2-3 pages of exercise. I think I barely did my homework. I did my homework, but not all the time, which is something I don't advise you to do, but it was just my personality. Like, I didn't like doing homework, and I didn't do it. I did it, but most of the time I didn't. So those are the things I did, and they helped me. Let's say grammar did help me. Let's say its percentage is like 10%, and the vocabulary is like 5%. But let me tell you what really helped. What really helped is the immersion, what I call. If you have a phone or something with you, you can use a translator and get the translation. You can use your dictionary, from time to time. So what really helped me is immersion. What is immersion? Immersion is you just throw yourself into the environment, into the English environment. How do you do that? Do we have like native speakers just walking around and trying to talk to you? No, we don't have that opportunity. If I were to learn Russian, I could easily have this immersion because I can make friends with Russian people and just like talk to them in Russian and easily learn Russian. But when it came to English, it was a big problem. Before it wasn't. We had, back in 2012, the internet was a big problem in Uzbekistan. You didn't have like Wi-Fi's and everything, easily connect and watch YouTube videos. The content was very limited. So I started watching movies. Because I remember I could spend like half an hour reading grammar and get bored, but I could spend 5 hours of watching movies and not get bored, have fun. So I started watching movies. What else did I do? I also watched TED Talks. And this is where I got the biggest benefit. I think I should say my 90% knowledge came from this. Yeah, what really gave me the confidence is just the movies. When you look at it, it's a lot easier. All right, what you got to do is just like watch movies and just try to understand. You watch it with the subtitles, without the subtitles, and at the same time, you have fun. You enjoy it. And if you enjoy it, if you do something with your emotions, feelings, then you're going to learn things better. This is what we're going to talk about right now. Now I'm going to pause a little and talk about what happened after that. So I spent like 1 year of making a lot of efforts, just learning, doing whatever. Within the first year of learning, I just did everything because I wasn't sure which one is the right way. I just listened to everyone. I did follow everyone's advice. I find another friend who tells me, okay, you have to read grammar rules. Okay, I do this. And I have another friend who tells me to learn phrases. I do this. And I have another friend who tells me to do the Murphy, but I didn't. And I got another, but one thing I did like was just watching movies. But this was not actually recommended by a lot of teachers at the time. Everyone told me, no. you're just wasting your time, don't do it, don't do that. But I just really wanted, and I felt like, okay, but I just like doing it. Why not do it? And I kept doing it, and this is where I got the biggest benefit. And I got lucky. I was blessed to have the opportunity then to travel abroad. I visited more than 15 countries, maybe not 15, I think like around 12 or 12 to 13 countries in Europe. And this was the biggest decision I made in my life. I really thank myself, thank God, and thank English, because I think it was the biggest decision, like I should say, game changer in my life. My life changed completely when I made a decision to learn English. I used to see the world in black and white before I was learning English, because I was not connecting to it. I was just like growing up in our Uzbek culture, just close-minded, see something on the news and oh, like this is bad, this is good. I was not really connecting to the world. And English really helped me change my life. Who I am right now, my health, everything, like my mindset, my happiness, everything, I should say, English gets all the credit for that. Because my health, for example, right? I read articles in English and I try to change my lifestyle, or I watch motivational videos and everything, and it helps me change my life, right? And if I didn't speak English, would I do it? Of course not. I think I would just have a typical Uzbek lifestyle, just probably go to work, go back home, watch TV, sleep, and just, I don't know, eat a lot of food, get fat, and you know, that's what I would do, probably. But when I started connecting to the world, I realized that, oh my gosh, like, world is really beautiful. We have and I started understanding other cultures. Because if you don't speak their language, you just look at them as different people. Actually, they're not quite different. We're kind of very much the same with each other. But if you don't speak the language, you look at them all. He's a different person. I'm like the chosen one. We are unique, like something like that. But when you speak the language, you realize, okay, we're all equal, like we're all human beings, like, and you really start seeing the world in a different way. So I spent 4 years just traveling. I should say I'm really passionate about traveling. I think everyone has their own passion. And my biggest advice is make sure to travel in your youth. This is gonna be a life-changing experience. A lot of people think, nah, I'm gonna travel when I'm 60. When you're 60, you're gonna have a backache. You cannot walk like 10 kilometers. You cannot run. You cannot climb the mountain. Or you cannot just jump even, you know? And how are you planning to enjoy travel experience if you just walk like this? And so that's why it's important to travel in your early 20s, if you can. From 20 to 30, make sure you travel. This is what a lot of Americans are doing right now. Within the very first year of their university, they're just like taking a gap year. You know what gap year is? Like you're postponing your studies and taking 1 year off to do something, to get a work experience or to travel or something else, and then continue your studies after 1 year. That's what they're doing, because it's really life-changing, because you just get a lot of experience, you see the world differently, you can just compare yourself to your friends, and just, for example, if when you talk about one object, like you don't just think about it in one way, you think about it in different, multiple ways, which will help you make better decisions in life, you know? I mean, you might want to like get a job and everything else. It just helps you just shape your own world in a very better way. So I recommend you guys travel, whatever it takes. It takes money, it takes this, but prioritize it. Prioritize traveling. Now let's talk about our topic. Now let's talk about English again. Or let's say any language. Is it working? Okay. So why did I choose this one? How to use grammar correctly without using grammar. Is it possible? Read this, right? It is possible, but is it easy? Of course not. It's not like, oh, he just gave me like a formula. In 1 month, I'm gonna be using grammar without thinking about grammar. It's totally impossible. What is really possible is choose the right way to learn without wasting your time. To understand it correctly, to understand, why we need to learn English and how we do it, you have to first you have to first just realize that You're not putting it into a machine. You're a human being. You have to understand your brain first, how the brain works, the biology. Now, let's look at it. We got 3 types of brains, right? Conscious brain or thinking brain, which is responsible for math, physics, like calculations, numbers, and so on. And we got subconscious brain, 50%. This is your intuition, something we call it heart, right? Something your heart tells you. For example, you want to do some sort of job and your heart is telling you not to do it. This is your subconscious brain, and it knows something. It knows something you don't know. It's your subconscious brain. Or your heart really wants you to do something. Like, I want to do this, I want to do this. Even your parents are telling you not to do it, but your heart says like, hey, let's do it. And it knows something, so you have to listen to it. Or about a person sometimes, right? Your heart says, you don't want to talk to this guy, you don't want to talk to this guy. So you have to make sure you listen to that. Not always. You have to listen to your conscious brain. I mean, you got to listen to all your brains. And subconscious means like it's not where the location is, it's sub, right? I'm telling you guys, if you don't understand that, just use a dictionary, get the translation to understand the whole, what's going on better. And we have unconscious brain, 40%. What is unconscious brain? Unconscious brain is you just know how to do it, you don't think about it. For example, when you learn how to ride a bike, after some time, you don't think about it. You don't think about, okay, I have to put my feet on this pedal, this, that, or I have to check the direction. No, you just do it, right? That's your unconscious brain. Or, like boys, right? Like driving a car. Yeah, for the first time, it becomes like a conscious stuff, like you think about it, and then you stop thinking about it. You just drive, right? You just drive, you just watch, you think about anything. You can think about something else, but you can still drive. Because it's in your unconscious brain already. Now, what is the mistake that we make when we're learning any language, not just English, is that we try to focus on our conscious brain, which is thinking brain. Like you try to think about it, you try to like make logical sense of language, you make calculations, you learn grammar rules and everything, and you're using your conscious brain, and it just contributes to 10%. But as a child, when you learn your mother tongue, like Uzbek, Russian, or whatever, you just use your unconscious brain. You don't think about grammar rules. A 7-year-old can tell me such a sentence, for example. So, 7-year-old who was born in the United States or in England can tell you such a sentence without thinking about it. Hey dad, or like brother, the movie that I watched yesterday was absolutely fantastic. And when you try to make sense of it, it's a really complex grammar structure sentence. But that 7-year-old doesn't have any idea about what noun is, what adjective is, what verb is, or whatever. He doesn't think about it because he's using his unconscious brain. And to learn this structure, you're going to spend 2 years of just attending, and still not all the students can really say that sentence, even using maximum of your conscious brain. And you cannot say it fast. Yeah, you think about it, okay, the movie, did I use the article, did I use this, did I use that? But actually, it's just happening unconsciously in your brain. So 7-year-old can say, hey dad, like the movie that I watched yesterday was absolutely fantastic. He's not thinking about if I should use fantastic with absolutely. Should I use like past simple? Should I use that and this? He doesn't think about it. But he does it in a perfect way. Better than you do, right? Better than anyone who spends like years of learning. Now, how do you do that? How do you start switching on your unconscious brain? Well, as I told you, Immersion is the key. You have to really immerse yourself. You have to just keep, I mean, if anyone there here is a beginner, my advice would be like, spend 3 months actively listening. 3 months. You don't care about if you understand or not. Just listen, 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 listen. And of course, watch also, like everything, like mixture. Listen to podcasts, listen to music, listen to the cartoons, just actively listening. Because this 3 months is very crucial for any language. You want to learn Spanish, you want to learn German, and this way you will develop your unconscious brain with active listening. And of course, if you do read the grammar rules and everything else, you will not spend, like I should say, 3-4 years to become that perfect. You will spend less time. It's going to help you speed up the process. Because you're using both of your brain, unconscious and conscious. But if you just use your conscious brain, trust me, you will forget whatever you learn after some time. And you will hate yourself for that. Wow, like I've learned all the vocabulary, but I just forgot all of them. What's happening? Is there something wrong with my brain? Or like, am I, what do we call, retard? Or do I have a low IQ? Or something like that. But language has nothing to do with your talent, with your brain, with your like low IQ, because anyone can speak a language. That's because we were blessed. This is like human nature. No one learns it. They just do it in their unconscious brain. That's why. If you think about learning it, then it becomes a problem. Because when you think about learning, you cannot control it. You just use your conscious brain. When you make that decision, okay, I have to learn it, it's like it becomes your conscious brain. And so guys, if you don't need it, I can like erase it. Is that okay? Okay. So, can I? Now, I will show you some of the ways how to use your unconscious brain. So, you have to make this a habit, first and foremost. Beautiful habit. I mean, to make it a habit, you have to enjoy it, you know? Enjoy the process. So, how do you enjoy the process? How do you make this a habit? To make something a habit, you first do it non-stop, like every day. But you shouldn't feel the pressure. How can you learn just learning grammar? I think you can't. What you can do is, you can start watching stuff you like. For example, on YouTube, everybody watches different content. I'm interested in more about like learning. I have my own interests, and you have your own interests. And you watch videos depending on that interest. For example, you may like watching car videos, or somebody may want to watch, I don't know, makeup videos for girls, or the rest of you might want to watch funny videos, right? Shorts, YouTube shorts, and everything else, and watch that. So to enjoy the process, you have to start watching whatever you like. You should not force yourself. If I tell you to right now, okay, I tell you to do right now, go watch videos about science, and you're not interested in science, it's going to be useless, and you're going to like get bored, and you just stop doing it, and you start losing the motivation again. So you have to first choose what you really like, and you have to watch them in English. Anything. Pay attention to what videos do you normally waste your time on Instagram, anywhere. Subscribe to their channels. I should say vlogs are the best way, because you never get bored when you watch vlogs. Watch vlogs, you know. Vlogs are the best way. I know one guy who's got like 200 million subscribers on YouTube, and his name is Mr. Beast. he makes like amazing videos about different kinds of challenges. For example, I mean, you can search for his channel and just watch a lot of his videos. He has like 200 something million subscribers, and you're gonna enjoy it. There are short videos, like 3 minutes, 4 minutes, sometimes 10 minutes, but they're never boring. He spends millions of dollars on every single video to make a content. And if you watch this video, I mean, you will like the character. What's really good about vlog is you will like the person first, and you just want to watch the video because you want to see that person. Because as human beings, we use our emotions. Like if you like someone, you want to watch this guy everywhere. On Instagram, like on a TV show, oh, my favorite actor, my favorite this, my favorite that. You just follow that person and you do it unconsciously. And movies also really help. In movies, you have your favorite actor. For somebody like Brad Pitt, Zac Efron, some new actors, Leonardo DiCaprio and everything else. And you just watch his every single movie because you like the guy or you like the girl. Oh, I want another movie from the same actor. I want another movie from the same actress. And without realizing it, you've already watched a lot of his movies, and now you're much better. That's why it's important. By the way, conscious brain never uses its emotions or feelings, which is why it's very inefficient. As humans, you have to use your emotions and feelings. When speaking, when doing, do not memorize. You know what? It's absolutely useless. Do not, I don't know, this is my advice. So you can choose to listen to anyone you want. But this is, you can listen to my speech and realize that if you really want to speak like me, I think it's better to follow what I'm telling you. I hate retelling. You know what that is? Like you read this stuff and you have to like tell it to your teacher. And I should say, for me, I've never done it. For me, it's useless because you don't think about it. That's the problem with that. You just like say it word by word and you switch on your conscious brain, which is a big problem. When your teacher tells you, okay, read the text and tell me what's written in the text, you don't like use your unconscious, but you use your conscious brain. Like you just like make sure to remember every word. And that means you're not using your emotions. You're just using your maximum knowledge, memory, to remember what you saw. And which is not what I just erased it. 7-year-old wouldn't do it. But he can speak a better English than you, but he would never do it, right? That's why it's really important to use emotions when, I think you guys have like, when you speak to each other, use your emotions. It's really important to comment on each other. You never do. Like most students just learn grammar rules. For example, when your teacher puts you into pair work, what's a pair work? Like two students work with each other, like practicing the dialogue or something. And then you should listen to your friend and you have to react. Like, wow, really? Amazing. Seriously? Wow, I didn't know that. How do you do it? Why? You gotta ask questions when working with each other. Don't just like listen to your friend. I mean, emotions are really important because you remember them better. And when watching movies, you immediately start speaking like a native speaker without even realizing it. You just start sounding like them because it's all in the unconscious brain already. You watched 1,000 times and it's already set in your unconscious brain. Now you cannot remove it, which is a good thing. But if it's in your conscious brain, you forget easily. You learn like 100 words, and a week after, you forget half of it, 60% of it, 70% of it, and you start blaming yourself for it. Oh, maybe I need to take some medicine, or I gotta eat some healthy food, my brain is not working properly. But the problem wasn't with that. The problem is you're using like 10% capacity, and this brain was not built for language at all. Like when God gave you the brain, and like God did not separate that brain for language learning. It's for other tasks. It's for the tasks that actually require talent. For example, if you say not everyone can learn math, I agree with you. And because you have to use your conscious brain all the time. You cannot use your unconscious brain with math because it's difficult. But what we do is we use the part of the brain which was not built for language learning, which was, well, we have to use the unconscious. Unconscious is also responsible for even swimming. You don't pay attention to how you're swimming. You just like swim, 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 because it's a habit of yours. You don't think about if you chose the right position. But yeah, for the beginning, it's important. For that reason, if you learn something, make sure to practice it, just use it, find the situation where you can use it. Now, let's move on to the next one. Yeah, we have like different languages, and here is some takeaways. So hear a lot as much as possible. Your hearing sense will trigger you to speak the language automatically, even with the same accent you hear, yeah. Because you have some senses here, they will just switch on, and they will make you speak fluently without even thinking about it. Because you have to use all your senses. We just use our like one particular brain. Now, if you use your hearing, your like speaking senses, feeling, emotional, if you just combine all of it, your language learning will be just, I should say, smooth sail. You're just going to enjoy every minute of it. And you see, you will also adopt the same accent without realizing it. You will just speak either in an American accent or British accent, but you don't really know why. And what's the difference between conscious and unconscious brain? When somebody asks you how you do it, you say, oh, I don't know, I just do it. Because conscious brain is just knowing brain. Hey, can you teach me how to do it? Oh, I don't know, I just do it. For example, if you just go to any native speaker, you ask them like, how did you learn language? They say, I don't know. They can't explain it because it's in their unconscious brain. They can't explain it because they never thought about it. They never thought about the grammar rules. That's why they can't explain it. Sometimes it's better if you can't explain it, you know? Because if you start explaining it, then you will make mistakes. Because you will start thinking about it, and your conscious brain will, I should say, will intervene with the natural flaw of your brain. So yeah, that's another advice that I just mentioned. English YouTube videos which you are really fond of. What does that mean? You're really fond of? That means like you really like. Not just any video, but the videos you really like. So it can be makeup videos, vlogs, cooking videos. Somebody likes cooking videos. I like TED Talks, speeches, and little stories sometimes, cartoons, just whatever you think you can watch more. Whatever you think you don't want to, for example, there are some of the things like you really don't think about spending time on. It has to be so automatic that when you like check the clock, like check your watch and say, oh my gosh, like I spent already 3 hours on this. But you didn't waste that time. You actually learned something. So that's what it has to be. Yeah, here's another experience I learned. I applied the same principles to another language, just to experiment. In 2018, I went to Poland, and I made a commitment that, okay, I'm going to learn this language in short period of time. And that's what happened. So what I did, I mastered this language in 6 months without reading a single grammar book. Because I didn't even have to, I didn't even read a book. I just communicated and immersion. For the first 3 months, that's what I did. First 3 months, I heard the language a lot as possible. I just heard people talk. I was really paying attention to everything. I was not thinking about it. I was just trying to feel it. Oh, these guys are talking to each other. When they say that word, they're laughing. Okay, that's how it goes. And yeah, I also use Google Translate sometimes, but I didn't make it a learning process. I made it just a lifestyle. I didn't force my brain to, okay, I have to learn these many words. But it all happened so quickly. In the next 3 months, I started just actively participating in communication, speech. Actually, what I did was, what my commitment was, as soon as I started even one word in Polish, I immediately used it. I didn't wait like a lot of you do. Okay, I will start speaking when I perfect every rule. It's a lie. You cannot do that. You have to start speaking English immediately from the alphabet. You learn what's your name, you use it immediately, because we have this muscle memory. Muscle memory means you have muscles around your, let's say, mouth, inside your mouth, and those muscles also have a memory. When you speak certain words, they kind of find their positions. This is how you develop your dialects. For example, we come from different regions of Uzbekistan, and everyone has their own distinct dialect. How does it happen? It's not just you hear, it's also you speak it, and your muscles will remember that. For example, sometimes your mouth will not open widely. Sometimes it will open narrowly, because it remembers it. You know what? It's the same thing as left hand and right hand. If you use your right hand, we use our right hand a lot. That's why you cannot do the same task with your left hand, right? Which is kind of the case. And your mouth, pay attention to it. So as soon as you learn one word or two words or three words, you immediately have to speak. You practice, you speak, you practice. And it's also important to practice it with the correct pronunciation, because sometimes your muscle memory is very strong. You learn something incorrectly, it will remember that. It will stay in your unconscious brain, and you just make that stupid mistake over and over again because it's in your muscle memory now. For example, somebody might say, what are the common mistakes between two words? For example, this one. Right? How do you read that? Okay, everyone's making the same mistake. Anyone? What's that? Bear. That's a bear, not beer. Beer is what you drink, you know? Alcohol, that's beer. So you see, like, it's already in your muscle memory that you just see it and you see beer. And it will not be easy. Now you know it, right? It's bear. But trust me, it will take another 20, 30 practice before you say it unconsciously. Tomorrow I ask you, you cannot say it without thinking. If you think, yeah, you may say, okay, bear. But if you say, read it, beer, you say it, because it's in your muscle memory. Your mouth already found the position, perfect position to say it. That's why it's important to learn it correctly. You got to be really careful with this. It's just an example, but you have to be careful with how you learn the pronunciation. Because you can, get a high score in IELTS, still make that mistake. Because the muscle memory is very strong. So you have to make sure you shape your muscle memory in a very perfect way. For that reason, I always use, even like, you might think that, oh, this guy speaks English perfectly. I am always a learner. I don't shy away from learning. I don't like, oh, I've learned a lot. No, never enough. Till the day I die, I will keep learning. That's what makes my life very interesting. Because life is full of mysteries. I have to make sure I have enough time to learn all about it. But specifically, learning English, you might think, yeah, I don't spend like hours of learning it anymore. I just do it unconsciously. It's my habit. I'm just interested, that's it. I can do it on my way home. I can do it just chilling, lying. But I don't of course, read a book and everything. But I always learn. No matter what, I always learn. I want you to use this dictionary, which is what I use. I think that's the correct way to write it. Cambridge Dictionary, ORG. This is the perfect dictionary because it has two different accents, US and UK. But it's not, even beginners can try it. It has a definition of the word. It never translates. You can get the US pronunciation and you can get the UK pronunciation, whatever you like. So that was pretty much my advice to learn a language. Now, let me ask you a question. Just one of you. Who can ask me a question? Is there anyone who is on a higher level so that I can ask that question? For example, which level you're studying currently? Pre-intermediate, right? Can you tell me about your day yesterday?
About my day?
Yep.
How I spent it?
That's right.
Yesterday.
Yeah, just anything, don't think. Just whatever you did. I woke up and stuff.
I woke up, I did my room works
Okay.
and all works, English, and go to bank.
Okay. Here's the mistake you made. What mistake did he make?
He's used to present simple.
Yeah, he should have said went to, right? I went to the bank, I did this, I did that, I woke up, I did my homework, I did my housework. And here's another thing you guys do not pay attention to. You always translate from one language. You think that English is the translation of Uzbek, or English is the translation of Russian. You don't consider English as a different language. You want that the same rules in your language have to be applied in another language. Of course not, right? But you want it. Okay, why we have, and you have to stop asking why. You're learning language, you have to eliminate this word from your vocabulary. No why in English. Just so, you know? That's how it is. If it's math, you can ask why. 2 plus 2 is 4. Why? Okay, let me show you. It's 2, it's 4. So what do you say? Oh, I got it. But when it comes to language, stop asking why. Just start accepting it. Okay, that's how they do it. That's it. Stop making sense. Oh, why? This word means like, when I translated this word, like it means this. But when you add another word, it's completely different. Why? Stop asking why. You will never get an answer for your why. That's why it's better to stop it. It's better not waste your time. If you always ask why, you will never find it. And the more you ask why, the less you will be able to speak fluently in English. So why is something you should get rid of from your vocabulary. Okay? Also guys, learn collocations. Pay attention to collocations a lot. You guys know what collocations mean? I never make up words. Collocation is, I should say, already like ready-made words. For example, do my homework, do my housework. You don't think about it. You do not think, okay, should I use do? Should I use make? Should I use that? Should I use housework? Or should I use like flat work or apartment work? You don't think about that because it's how it is, right? When you think about that, you start translating. You switch on your Russian brain, you switch on your Uzbek brain, and you try to like word by word translation. And to a native speaker like me, it sounds, I should say, completely misguided, like puzzled. I don't understand what you're saying. Although you're just doing what you're doing, like, okay, I'm translating it, I know the grammar rules, but still, when you have a conversation with the native speakers, they get bored, they don't even understand you. I mean, do you speak English? Yes, I spent like 7 years learning English, really. So to get rid of it, you have to learn collocations. What are collocations again? Collocations are the phrases like do housework, have breakfast, have a shower, have dinner. You do not create sentence. It's there, right? It's there already. You do not say, okay, I eat my breakfast. Maybe I should say that. Don't think about that. Have breakfast, have a shower, and you do not ask why. Okay, why it is have a shower and why it is have breakfast. That's how it is. These are just exceptions. There are rules and there are exceptions to the rules. So that's why it's important to just, okay, you know what? I will just keep learning. You should just keep moving and never look back. Because when you start asking why, you will stop. You will stop and you will just lose because you don't get the answer for it from anyone. No one give you the answer for why. A 7-year-old never asks why when learning English. He just repeats, that's it. Okay, whatever he learns, he just, okay, mom, dad, this. And by the time he realizes it, it becomes in his like unconscious brain already. And when he goes to school, then he learns the alphabet. You see, like everyone who is learning English, they ask me, okay, can you teach from the alphabet? Are you kidding me? Why do you need alphabet to speak? Alphabet is only I mean, you can spend like 2 minutes learning alphabet and you will never read it. I mean, it's just for grammar also. I mean, some people say, I want to learn from the alphabet. I'm telling you, a kid learns the alphabet when he turns 7. Or there are some people who speak Uzbek or Russian, they don't know the alphabet. Did that stop them from learning the language? They speak pretty good English, pretty good Uzbek, pretty good Russian, pretty good any language, but they don't know the alphabet. So don't think that the alphabet should be the most important thing. I mean, you can. I mean, of course it's important, but don't think that it's the most important. And stop asking why when learning simple phrases. If somebody don't ask why for such things like hello. Why it's like H-E-double-L-O. No, don't ask. Or hey, how's it going? Why is it this? Why is it that? Because the more you ask why, the more you don't understand, the more you want to quit learning. And the more you ask, more you don't get the answers. Okay, maybe I should stop learning English. For beginners, my advice is just try to learn phrases like this without asking about the grammar rules. Like, for example, what's your name? For example, if I want to teach you what's your name, I don't have to teach you, okay, this is what, this is a form of to be, and your means like a possessive pronoun, and name is a noun. If I teach you, you cannot even say what's your name. If I don't teach you anything, and hey, just say, what's your name? Can you say it? Yeah, what's your name? That's it. So that's how you learn it. And you have to learn also your reactions. You know what reaction is, right? You're just instincts. You just answer some questions without thinking too much. For example, he said, do you want me to do it? That's right. I don't think about if I'm going to say that's right. I just say it. So these are the things. Collocations, prioritize collocations. What's that? But phrasal verb is a bit a different topic. Yeah, the collocation is like do my homework, right? It's not like phrasal verb is verb plus, I should say, preposition. So it's a bit different. And yeah, phrasal. If you want to speak fluently and more beautifully, I should also say use more phrasal verbs and idioms. And do not memorize. And that's my another advice. Like, okay, I want to learn this. No, just use. If you can't use it, it's useless. Use it or lose it, right? That's it. Learn idioms. And that's how you enjoy basic stuff. And everyday English is really important for beginners. Everyday English. Even me, I made the biggest mistake. I learned English. I got IELTS, and now I'm in Europe. I'm speaking to guys from the United States. And I was like, I had the urge, oh my gosh, I spent so much time learning it, but I cannot even speak everyday language. So I had to go back and learn everyday English, which is the mistake you don't want to make right now. I read books again and started learning my everyday English. I learned beginner English after I got IELTS because I thought that they weren't important. And I realized that they are really important. So build strong foundation. Do not thinking about the time. Oh, I have to jump to another level, jump to another. No, it's not going to give you anything. You just waste your money. Sit down, relax, and make sure build strong foundation. Do you know everything, whatever is taught in beginner level? And are you sure you can use them naturally? If you can't use them naturally, then you better more focus on these things. So my another advice is build strong. Okay, I think we've ran out of ink. And do not think about knowing. Think about using it. Unless you use it, you just lose it. Focus on building a strong foundation. Don't care about complex structures yet. Build a very strong foundation and you will be unstoppable after that. But if you have a very I should say, what do we call that? Not quite strong, but precarious. You know what precarious means? For example, you can stay on a raft, like a boat, and it's just moving. Yeah, it's like precarious. If you don't build a strong foundation, you will always be precarious. Yeah, you know how to do it, you speak it, but you're not on a, I should say, flat surface, on a strong surface. Your foundation is precarious, right? Because you have to always be in control. So you don't want to do it. You don't always want to like stand on a boat. You want to stand on the ground. To stay on the ground, you have a very strong foundation. If you, and let's talk about the time frame. Like how much time can you actually spend using the correct way, and I should say to speak perfect and fluent English? My advice would be just, let's say if you're learning from very zero, if you just follow all this footstep, you would, and you don't have to like go back and learn it again. I think 1 year would be the perfect time frame. 1 year without thinking about this 1 year. You just start learning it and you keep learning. And when you make this a habit, no one tells you to do it. You just do it anytime you want. And you unconsciously spend a lot of time on this. So that's why making it a habit is really important. And then you stop caring about, well, some people just quit learning English after they get their IELTS. Don't do that. Because you're going to need it forever. It's becoming a global language, and you will always be needing it. Okay, guys, now let me check the time frame. So basically, that's pretty much what I wanted to teach you. I hope you guys learned something from all of it, from all what I had to say. And I was really sincere and honest with whatever I told you. It was not like I'm promoting something or anything. I just came to share the mistakes and the best ways. And if anyone learned something from it, I will be just forever grateful. So thank you guys all for participating. Hope you all had a great time. So, enjoy the rest of your day. So see you in the future. Anywhere around, right? The earth is round, as they say. We'll see each other again. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Now you can relax, have dinner, have lunch and stuff.